Hey guys, and welcome to the Filmink YouTube page. My name is Christopher Wayne, and I'm the new reviewer for the filmink.com website. I had a lot of trouble deciding what review I was going to do first. This is my first video review, my first review at all for the website. And it was a few weeks ago when I got into a debate with the guys from the Filmink, and we were having one of our Geek Out movie discussions, and the question came up: who's the best movie villain of all time? We threw names around for about half an hour until we all agreed on one. 2 words: Anton Segura.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
Sir?
The most you ever lost on a coin toss?
I don't know. I couldn't say.
Call it.
Cohen.
Yes.
For what?
Just call it.
Well, we need to know what we're calling it for here.
You need to call it. I can't call it for you. Well, it wouldn't be fair.
I didn't put nothing up.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it.
That dude is just plain evil. The movie, of course, is 2007, No Country for Old Men, written and directed by the Cohen Brothers. Absolute legends when it comes to filmmaking, of course. This movie is absolutely incredible. For me personally, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. But I want to tell you why. For starters, it's written amazing. The Coens have written such an incredible script based off the book of the same title. The characters are so well written in this. The dialogue is so well written, but it's complemented by a great cast. You've got Woody Harrelson, Tommy Lee Jones, Josh Brolin, and of course Javier Bardem playing who is the most badass villain of all time. So what's the movie about? Josh Brolin's character is hunting through the desert one day and discovers a series of trucks, dead bodies, and what appears to be the remnants of quite a bloody and brutal shootout. In the middle of that shootout is a briefcase with $2 million. He decides to take the money and head for the hills, but what he wasn't counting on was being hunted. One of the things this movie does really well is the perfect balance between character and dialogue-driven scenes and the action thrill scenes. It's not all talk, 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 and it's not all bang, 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 but the two are melded together absolutely perfectly to create the ultimate combination of fire and ice. They do this well, and without giving anything away, this movie isn't going to do it in the normal order. It's going to take you up and down, and it's going to excite you and take you through dialogue scenes in a different kind of way. The climax is going to hit you when you're not expecting it. Other scenes are going to come at you when you're least expecting it. You're not going to know who's going to live. You're not going to know who's going to die. You're not going to know who's on whose side. And the movie is designed that way and takes you on the ultimate roller coaster.
Nam.
Yeah, it was Nam.
Oh. So was I.
So what does that make me, your buddy?
Look, you gotta give me this money. I got no other reason to protect you.
It's too late. I spent it. About $1.5 million on whores and whiskey, and the rest of it just sort of blew it in.
How do you know he's not on his way to Odessa?
Why would he go to Odessa?
Kill your wife?
So we need to talk about Anton Segura, the best villain in history. In this movie, he's absolutely terrifying, and it goes beyond the haircut. Basically, he's the best villain ever. He's been employed to find the man and find the money, but for him, it's not about that. It's not about the money. It's not about the job. It's not about getting revenge. It's just about who he is, and who he is a natural-born killer. He has no emotion and no remorse, and he believes someone's fate can be opened or sealed with nothing more than the flip of a coin. Not only that, when it is time for him to get his hands dirty, he's more than happy to get his hands dirty. Some of the scenes in this movie are ultimately violent, and the coolest thing about it is when you see his character choking a man to death with a chain with his bare hands. There's not an ounce of emotion in his face. In fact, from start to finish through the whole film, you won't see him crack a smile. You won't see him do anything like that. This man is a badass. One of the things this movie does really well is silence. where movies are getting bigger and louder and more in your face. No Country for Old Men draws that back and presents the movie with silence. From beginning to end, you're not going to hear one song in the whole film. Don't go to iTunes and buy the soundtrack. It is a waste of money. It's really great the whole way through. There's this almost air of suspense that is created by the lack of noise. When there's a feeling that you get of someone standing there in the middle of the desert and there's no music in the background, there's no over-the-top special effects, but there's just the sound of this guy staring off and the sound of the wind. You feel like you're standing there with him. And what this movie has done so well, you know, I once heard M. Night Shyamalan say the only thing more scary than what you can see is what you can't see. In this film, the only thing more intense than what you can hear is what you can't hear. You think you start to freak out when you hear the bad guy's footsteps outside the door, but the only thing scarier than that is when those footsteps stop and you don't know where he is anymore. And this movie uses that. It uses silence. It uses nothing so well, and it's done in a way that will keep you gripped from start to finish. So all things considered, this movie gets 9 out of 10. It's pretty much close to perfect, and for any fan of any of the previous works by the Coens, or wants to try something a little different, some thriller, some drama, some action, some suspense, go down to the video store, go down to JB Hi-Fi, and check out a copy of No Country for Old Men. My name is Christopher Wayne, and this is brought to you by thefilming.com, Australia's #1 video review website.
You know what date is on this coin?
No?
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
Well, look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything, call it.